follow the money.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money.
Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Here we go. Welcome in. It is Follow the Money on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Thanks for checking in today on NFL Draft Day, YouTube TV, Sirius XM Channel 158. Watching or listening on the VSiN Watch app, loaded program. Obviously, a lot of draft talk today. We're not going to ignore baseball, nor will we ignore the NBA and the NHL playoffs. Good guest on the program, Will Brinson, coming up at the bottom of this hour on the draft. Derek Stevens a little bit later on, and Rich Gannon, former NFL MVP. He will be awesome on the draft, as that'll be the last segment of today's program at 6:45 p.m. Eastern Time. Okay, so we will get into the latest odds movement that we have, Pauly, for tonight's draft and some of the latest buzz. You want to say that the draft is going to begin at 6? You're pretty hot, right? I mean, you're pretty
5.
firm on this, right? With your exacta, the top 5.
Well, I think it's 5 because it's where's he going? It's Genty at 5, but where's he going? Is it Chicago? Is it Jacksonville?
Chicago was minus 180 to draft him at FanDuel.
Yeah. This is what's happened in the last 3 hours is nuts. From the Genty movement, what's going on with Dart and Sanders, and what the Raiders are going to do at 6. That Banks was the favorite, and then that flipped. So that's getting weird, too. And Graham continues to plummet in the markets.
So Banks' draft position was 13.5, and then it got to like minus $5. It moved to 7.5 that I saw earlier today. And basically in the last day, McShay, Daniel Jeremiah, Lance Zierlein, Dane Brugler all mocked Banks to Las Vegas at pick number 6. And so paying attention to those odds today, like who's going to go number 6 overall, it was between Banks and it was between Membu, the other offensive lineman. At DK earlier today, they were both plus 175. Now Banks is at like plus 110 to go 6th overall. Is this late steam here going to be accurate? So maybe the draft won't even start until pick number 7 now?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about the Genty thing either, because that has to be a trade. So is that even? I mean, it goes back to what Derek said Tuesday. That he doesn't like this and the inside information, but people are betting this like they know they're at the podium and the trade is in. Well, and Chicago's moving up to 5.
I'm not a big fan of the last 12 hours of the draft. Because if now the top 6 goes like this,
yes,
it's going to get bloody for me.
And the exact order has gone to minus 220 now.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
And now, so McShay, to follow up on what we talked about yesterday, he did say that everybody he talked to said the same thing about number 4 with the Patriots, with Will Campbell. They said you cannot take him number 4 overall. Absolutely cannot. But he said that the Patriots are in love with the kid as a human being. And we'll tell you more about that coming up a little bit later on. Do you love football? Do you not love football anymore? So if that's the case, and they love him as a person, and they think there's going to be a fit for him, obviously, to be good, like that, the value they're going to put into his character is going to be strong enough to take a number 4 overall. But then, if Jacksonville holds at number 5,
is it still Genty?
Yeah, or do they get nuts and go somewhere like McMillan? Talk about that with, McShay's been on that. Yeah. Others have been saying the same exact thing.
That I can't see. I'm still not confident he's going to be the first wide receiver selected. But we've seen him anywhere from 5 to 18, which that's wild. And or mocked to Tampa Bay, rather, as another one. It's. I still think it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the exacta, and the fun will begin at 6. And I think the movement's right, and the activity in the last 3 hours will be accurate on the Raiders. What happens?
Yeah, this seems a little bit too convenient, by the way. That now everybody is mocking. It seems like they're copying and pasting the same exact thing to the top 6. All of a sudden, like last 12 hours, that's going to be with Banks going number 6 overall. Like that came out of nowhere. That seems a little bit a little too convenient.
All right, now how about the social media business? And we've gone through this before. Well, a cousin said this. Oh, this guy said this. So today you got Breece Hall with the fingers crossed emoji. What does that mean, and what are the Jets going to do? And then late last night, and even Sal Powell reported on it this morning, that Shane's son, the GM of the Giants, on Instagram put up a highlight reel of Dart and then quickly switched it to private.
That's right.
So now and then the markets are going crazy with that too, which a lot of people had the Giants coming back and taking Dart anyways. And now Dart, in the span of a couple hours, has gone. Sanders was as high as 220. Now, Dart is minus 130 to be second quarterback selected.
That's correct. And Sanders is even money, although at the same time, DraftKings had Sanders minus 750 to be a first-round pick and Dart only minus 450. So that's bizarre to have two different markets, and the pricing would be ass backwards at that point.
What do you think of the kid? What do you think of that? I mean, that's probably dad chewed his ass and said, what are you doing?
I guess last year he also posted a video of Jane Daniels.
Okay.
But
maybe, I don't know. But
maybe it's his favorite player or something like that.
Yeah. If he didn't switch it to private immediately after,
right? I know.
Then I would say much ado about nothing.
Well, I will give you this, though. Again, at DK, FanDuel, and others now, some global shops, the movement is happening as we speak on how many quarterbacks are going to get drafted tonight in the first round. It's still 2.5, but remember yesterday this came down to, on the under 2.5, it was minus 105. The over was still favored. It was like minus a quarter. Now, Pauly, over 2.5 is minus $2, and you can grab plus 150 on the under if you don't think it's still going to happen.
I think it's going to happen.
I've heard other people say...
It's happened 8 of the last 9 years, too, by the way.
What's that?
At least 3 quarterbacks going to first round.
Okay. I've heard people say that they think, this goes back to, I think, last night when I heard it, they feel that it's closer to 1 than 3 quarterbacks in the first round.
Not after the last 10 hours. Can't get there.
Where is Sanders going to go?
I still think Pittsburgh takes him.
At number 21 overall?
Yeah, and that moved again today, too.
Well, let's give you this. So this is a report today on the NFL on CBS talking about this steam with Jackson Dart absolutely being real.
What I'm being told is that Jackson Dart is not going to fall beyond that number 9 pick and the Saints. Somebody could potentially go above the Saints to try to go get him, but that's not what I'm hearing right now, that is a pick that Kellen Moore really likes.
I don't buy that for a second.
No, neither do I.
No way.
In fact, when you were gone last week, we had Mike Detillier on from WWL New Orleans. He said in the break, before he came on the air, he's like, they're not taking a bleeping quarterback. And he reiterated that without the bleep on the air. He said they're not taking a quarterback at number 9 overall. Not going to happen.
Did you see Nightcrawler with Gyllenhaal?
I did, yeah.
Very good movie,
right? At the theater, yeah.
Yeah, and Renee Russo's in it. And she plays, it goes.
Okay, yeah.
It goes back to this about, are you trying to report on the news and the sports, or are you trying to manufacture a story? And his character was always, okay, let's lead with the big house break and car crash, someone died, whatever. I mean, some of this stuff that I think is absolute nonsense, and they're just putting it out there for eyeballs, clicks, and whatever it can be. And I referenced the Schefter thing a couple of years ago. For 2 months, he had it. 2 months, he said on that Rogers story. Trouble in paradise in Green Bay, he might white out. I mean, it's just people you trust and respect laugh a week ago when you say New Orleans taking a quarterback in New Orleans at number 9. So I think some of the stuff in the last 24 to 48 hours is Looney Tunes.
Yeah, I don't. In fact, here in Las Vegas and in the state of Nevada, we can't bet anymore. I'm quite confident that if the Saints stay at number 9, they're going to go defensive line. Too many good players at that point, and too much smoke around that narrative from what people have been talking about in that storyline with the Saints, and that's going to be a big addition that they're going to want to, try to expand upon, along with like Cam Jordan. The thought is that Cam Jordan's been a lifelong Saint, and he wants to be like it's got to be the mentor and protege relationship to this first round pick. And then I think Cam Jordan probably wants a position with the Saints for the rest of his career, and that would be part of it. Like, I don't know, front office or maybe a coach or something along those lines. And they want to get that guy who could take over and like kind of be his replacement, so to speak, at number 9 overall. Number 7 with the Jets. Total wild card, and the current short shot on the board is Tyler Warren at plus 185 to go there. He's ahead of Membu, who's plus 210, Banks plus 430. And then could they go defensive line, because Graham and Walker are next up, followed by Barron, who's sliding now. He was as low as, I think, 7-1. Now he's 21-1 to go 7th overall to the Jets.
Well, that goes back to the Breece Hall emoji. Maybe he wants offense and he wants help and he wants Warren and he likes him. That could be what happens. Banks has moved to plus 125 to go to the Raiders now.
Lower than that.
That's another, yeah,
in some spots. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. That's it. Getting good. But I think the Jets are a wild card. When you come in with Glenn now and a new coach and basically told Aaron Rodgers to kick rocks, why did he fly all the way out there? That's at least his story. Why do I fly all the way out there and you tell me in my face we don't want you? You could have done it over the phone, but I think that's a wild card on what the Jets are going to do. But if you want to buy the emoji thing, I would say Warren. I think Warren will be a good pro. And I'm very, very confident Walker goes 8. That's another one I'm strong on.
Okay. That is currently sitting at, just had that up actually, 8th overall,
Okay.
plus 210.
Now, what if the Bears stay put? Then what happens? And we're assuming Genty goes 5. Then what are they going to do? And there's no Warren. Question. And there's no Warren. Then I don't know. I still think it's offense, but then it's...
Do they go Loveland at tight end?
They could do that. You could go McMillan. You could do a lot of different things.
So McMillan right now is 3-1 to go, and he's a short shot on the board to go 10th overall. But to me, that's correlated with a potential trade, right? With the team to draft Ashton Genty, the Bears are minus 180. So that would speak to the Bears trading up to number 5, taking Genty there, and then minus 180 would tie into McMillan 3-1 right now because the Jags would slide to number 10, and then in theory, that's who they would take for Trevor Lawrence.
Would you do that if you're the Bears? Do you think Genty's that good? Do you think he's a big need?
Do you think that they're set up offensively to make it work with that offensive line, the other weapons that they have? Ben Johnson, I think Ben Johnson wants to do in Chicago exactly what he did in Detroit, and they had an unbelievable running game.
Yeah. I trust him, but I also think you can just put several guys in there and he'll make it work because he's a genius, offensive genius.
Right. Now, is the Bears' offensive line good enough? Will it be next year?
Good question.
And maybe not quite in next year, but maybe they can also address that later on in the draft and then the offseason to make sure.
That's why Raider fans laughed at the Genty at 6 stuff.
Yep.
Our O-line stinks.
Yep. We do have day baseball. We'll update the current betting numbers with games in progress. And I took a long shot to win the MVP last night. He became the first player in history to achieve these numbers before the end of April.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
You can always get in touch with the show on X at VSiN Live, at Mitch Moss Radio, at Pauly Howard. This is from Matthew during the break. You were talking about how Joe Shane,
Son put a highlight reel of Dart up on Instagram.
Okay, his daughter goes to Ole Miss evidently.
Okay,
Joe Shane.
Getting juicy now.
Okay, all right.
But at where though? That's the other thing. I guess it doesn't matter. But from a prop stand, remember, this one, it's 21.5. It got to 25.5, and it was 25.5 heavily juiced to the under, and then it went up to 24.5 over minus $2 now. And then came back down to like 24 and heavily juiced to the under now. What's happened?
Well, and don't forget what we said yesterday. This is all McShay basically saying that Daboll is the guy there in New York who wants Dart if they would go quarterback, and the front office evidently does not. That's what McShay reported. You said you had somebody connected to the Giants saying something to you?
Yeah, that they said they weren't high on Dart. So but yeah, it appears that all the smoke is real with that. And then you trade back up and probably grab him in the mid-20s. And I think this quarterback prop's going to cash now. Now, the other thing about Sanders, which is, other than we mentioned too, Dart now favored at DraftKings and other spots to be the second quarterback selected, is if Sanders doesn't go to Pittsburgh at 21, then I don't know what happens.
Yeah, then I think he slides today too.
Is it Cleveland trading back moving up?
They could do that, or Cleveland could sit and be patient because they're picking right away on day 2, and then they could probably just have Sanders fall to them then, if they're interested in his services.
Yeah, maybe risky, or could you wait and then you go Milroe? Okay. If Sanders is gone too.
Milroe's draft position, by the way, is 38.5. It was 32.5 at some spots, juiced heavily to the over.
I don't see it.
I can't imagine he's going to be a first-round pick.
I don't think he should be a second-round pick, but apparently I'm going to be wrong on that too, but good luck to it.
All right, some scores going on right now, Major League Baseball. We do have 3 games in action, and the Royals are leading the Rockies 7-4. This was Reagan's going against Marquez. I did take Royals' money run line earlier today, minus 120. I was not expecting this out of Cole Reagan's.
Yeah, nothing.
It was terrible.
Yeah.
Now, unexpected sometimes, now with Marquez. He was a gas can again today, and the Royals blasted him. And they just did a suicide squeeze, by the way, to go up 7-4. So that, and now a kid just striked out. But tack on some more with runners on first and second. Don't be afraid to do that. Total is 12.5. Boy, are we going to get, I know we only have like maybe 10 more outs left, but I think we might get a couple more runs in that game.
Yeah, I could see that. And this would drop Colorado to 1-13 on the road. And then Lorenzen is $1.90 in game 2 of the doubleheader.
Yep. The Mariners are leading the Red Sox right now 4-2 to 3 in the ninth.
Same thing. Crochet had nothing.
He had, I think, what did he finish with? 9 strikeouts? But other than that, they roughed him up big time.
Yeah.
And Wu outdueled him in that game. And the current total in that game is 7.5 as they play now in the ninth. So you need one more run to get in there, but the under is minus 275. The other game is just underway in the third inning. Brewers on top of the Giants by a score of 2-1. I wanted to look at some stuff to get involved with that one live during the show today. And we might do it when the third time through the order for the Brewers. Because Roop, the kid going for the Giants, pretty good numbers overall, but the third time through his ERA goes up to 7.2. And then I saw the Brewers lineup, and I was like, well, we'll see. But he doesn't have it today either because they got to him a couple times right away in this game.
And the White Sox might end this losing streak, too. It's in a rain delay, 3-0 in the eighth.
I'll tell you,
Minnesota's beat them 14 in a row at home. White Sox 1-11 on the road.
Maybe make a note next to this kid's name, circle him next time. Maybe this Shane Smith, starting pitcher for the White Sox, is a guy that you don't want to fade. He's got a 2.3 ERA on the year, 7 strikeouts today, and the Twins have been excellent at not striking out. I lost that. I bet him under 4.5, minus 150 today for strikeouts, and he blew by that immediately.
Now, how is Gore $1.20? What am I missing here?
I bet when it was pick him earlier today.
Okay.
What are we doing here?
He's had some good starts. The Orioles have a ton of issues right now. They've lost 12 of 18, worst starters, ERA in all of baseball, and it's Maury Povich going today again. I mean, and they were plus money yesterday and won easy, no problem. So Gore's strong. You know, we have that horrific bullpen with Washington, but hopefully not going to be a problem because we'll get enough offense and knock Povich out of there and rough him up. And I agree with the 20-cent move here. It's just Baltimore's also hitting .208 during this bad stretch here where they've lost 12 of 18.
And they have a negative 37-run differential. And again, their starting ERA is a half a run higher than the next worst team, and that's Colorado. So they're doing nothing right. Their starters are terrible, and the offense has been in the garbage for almost a month now.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically a total nightmare beginning of the season for the Baltimore Orioles and their fan base.
It is.
So, no, I don't understand the price yesterday. We talked about that a lot. We should have had that in pocket. We did not. Shame on us, but that number never made sense yesterday. Gore's got 2 games this year with 13 strikeouts. And I don't expect that again today because that's very difficult to achieve, but I don't want nothing to do with Baltimore.
Oh, absolutely. Had that right. But we finally had an under, though, a night game with the A's. Now you're being put to the test tonight, 8.5, and it's DeGrom. Now Texas is 10-1 this year when they score at least 4 runs. I'm confident they're getting 4 runs, yet DeGrom's only $1.35. And the A's have been horrible at home until they got the win last night.
Let me give you, I believe I have some strong notes on the A's as opposing pitcher K props against the A's, 16-8 to the under. Righties are 16-5 to the under. DeGrom, last time he faced him, I think that was his last win overall. That was last season. He did have 11 strikeouts then. But the A's have been great at not striking out, specifically against right-handed batters this year.
You going to go over, though? Or you don't want a part of it because of the
No, I'm not, I don't think I'm going to go over tonight.
But last night freaked you out a little bit?
Well, also, I kind of don't think both. I don't know. I don't think both offense. I don't like it tonight.
Okay.
That last night had nothing to do with this game.
All right, fine. Angels? Yep. Angels too high or about right? Anderson's been good.
Yeah, but I think there's also some numbers that he's going to regress. I bet O'Neal Cruz hit a home run today at plus 375.
Wow. How about that? I'll tell you, though, some of these prices, like to score a goal in the NHL playoffs and like Joker triple, some of these prices are outrageous.
Oh, I know.
You're not getting anything.
I know. Here's what, if you have done this to date, and nobody would, but every single game, if you're betting O'Neal Cruz to hit a home run and to steal a base on a same-game parlay, you got to be up 50 units already. It's incredible how many times he's done it so far this year in the same game.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah.
But so Carmen Majinski is going today for the Pirates. He last pitched against the Guardians a Friday ago. He allowed 5 runs on 9 hits in 4 innings. He was a strong reliever last year in 40 appearances, including 4 as an opener when he had an ERA of 3.38. It's been a struggle this year in the rotation. So the first time through the order, he's strong, a 219 opposing batting average and only a 649 OPS with only 1 run allowed. The second and third time through the order, so that'd be the Angels tonight, 452 batting average, almost 1,100 with the OPS and 11 runs scored. So maybe a no-run score for the Angels in the first, potentially. But I think some of the numbers suggest that Anderson's going to come back to earth here as well.
All right. What was the MVP bet? This guy, these numbers are ridiculous.
You know who it is?
I did. I saw it.
Okay. Now, the chances of this guy sustaining this for the entire year, it's a long shot for a reason, but what Pete Crow Armstrong has done so far for the Cubs, another home run last night. Same thing with this guy, by the way. The same game parlay with the home run and the stolen base. He's got 5 dingers on the year, 10 stolen bases, and 15 extra base hits. Per OptaStats on X, he's the first player in Major League Baseball history to reach those marks before the end of April. Highest WAR in Major League Baseball at Fangraphs, Aaron Judge 2.5, but he's in the American League. And then he's going to, obviously, stiff competition here. Corbin Carroll hit 2 more home runs last night. His WAR is 1.9. Crow Armstrong is 1.8. I took 120 to 1 on him for the NL MVP. Now, he has to beat out 100 guys because the NL is absolutely loaded. But he's off to, that start is incredible. And again, am I going to say that he's going to go 40 on the year? No, but the Cubs are a damn good baseball team. And if he has a really good season, you know, the numbers might say, hey, this guy's got to be in the mix a little bit here.
All right, more draft coming up, and it's one of the few betting events where research beats reputation. VSiN Pro helps you cash in. Get VSiN Pro access through August 1st, just $59. Full summer, sharp betting insights at half the regular price. Every best bet, every host, every guest. The betting splits that everyone loves from DK and Circa. The trends from Mackinnon. 24/7 video access. Got to see the dog videos. The analytics and the trends and the breakdowns from draft to the Derby and beyond. Every sport, edge, one low price. Incredible offer. VSiN.com/subscribe. $59 to August 1st. VSiN.com/subscribe.
Here's what I have on Tyler Anderson and why I think he's going to come back to the pack. The ERA is 2.08 on the year. It's a little bit shy of 9 Ks per 9, but he's also walking almost 5 batters per 9. Very lucky with the batting average of balls in play, 157. That's not going to be sustainable. A 96% left on base rate, impossible to sustain that. And the xERA goes up to 3.27 and the FIP is 4.69. That's a truer number than the ERA. So he's going to got it. So at one of these starts, could be tonight against O'Neill Cruz and company here with Pittsburgh. So we'll talk NFL draft. Will Brinson, CBS Sports up next. Where does the draft begin for him? How far is Sanders going to fall? Is Dart going to go super high at this point? His overall thoughts here on draft day next on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
We have more movement now. Expect this to happen a lot over the next couple of hours. What are you seeing? NFL draft.
Second quarterback selected. Dart is now minus $2. Sanders was 220 less than 24 hours ago.
Wow. And he was much higher than that
Yep.
going back.
Yep. And Genti is still minus 250 to go 5th. He is still a minus 190 to go to the Bears with the first pick that Chicago takes. And Hunter is up to $2,000 to go 2nd. Carter, $1,600 to go 3rd. Campbell, $5 to go 4th. And Banks, you said it was one spot much lower, a little bit lower, but Banks plus 125 to go 6th. These are at DraftKings.
Right. This is on X from Jake Miller asking us, what do you guys think about taking McMillan at pick number 10, 3-1? The Bears are the favorite to pick Genti, plus Genti is the favorite to be the 5th pick, which is currently owned by the Jags. McShay has said that the Jags are interested in the big body wide receiver for T-Law. Jake, we talked about that a little bit in the first segment. I think that makes sense, right? Because if the current odds are telling you that the Bears are minus 180 to draft Ashton Genti, well, their best way to get him would be to trade up. And in theory, that's going to have to be with Jacksonville. And that's why Jacksonville at number 10, McMillan to go 3-1 is a short shot. That lines up then, because that would be the guy. McShay keeps going back to who Trevor Lawrence had at Clemson when he was super successful, and it was Ross.
Yes,
and it was
good
Higgins.
point. Good point. That's what they're saying in the organization.
Right.
The guy's regressing. We have to get him more weapons and help. Yeah.
But what do you think about the idea of going tight end?
I don't hate that either.
Because they lost Engram to Denver in the offseason.
Yeah, I think Warren will be a good pro. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so do I.
But then again, his odds are all over the place. And then the Jets could be the sleeper there at 7, which he is now he's the favorite to go there.
Yeah.
And I would think tied in with the Brees Hall emoji, fingers crossed that'll probably happen.
Was it fingers crossed or was it peace out?
No,
was it fingers crossed?
It's fingers crossed.
Okay.
You thought it was peace out?
At first, I thought it was peace because there was a report that they could be shipping him or shopping him, I should say.
Oh, if it's peace, no, it was fingers crossed.
Okay, fingers crossed that he wants more.
We got to hold it for ball game now if it's peace out.
Well, I mean, again, like you talked about all this news that doesn't really matter.
Uh-huh. I think the kid thing, I think Shane's son matters.
Yeah, but here's what I honestly, who searches for players in any sport if they unfollow the team that they play for?
Yeah,
all
like
of
Pickens?
a sudden,
like Pickens?
Yeah, I'm watching the games last night, and I
right.
happen to be on X at the same time, and all of a sudden it's just like, oh my God, Pickens I don't care.
I know, that's Florio.
Nobody cares. Stop.
That's a Florio thing, though. I mean, I can't kill you for that. I mean, they're lunatics. They love the sport. That's what they do. But to notice something like that, it's different than the run we were on years ago, where it was, when Hader was 12, he tweeted some rap lyrics, or DiVincenzo said this in 2008.
Right.
I mean, that was what I couldn't understand. Hey, this guy's just having a great moment. Let's knock him down and try to ruin his life.
That happened all the time.
We were on that run where it's
constantly.
the guy tweeted in 2009 about something.
That's right, yeah.
But I don't have a problem with that. Now, does that mean something? I think so. But then again, these are mercurial and weird fellas.
I'll ask you this. Did you like it a handful of years ago, probably around that same time, when NFL reporters would tip picks and they like Twitter was the spot to go? They would be 10 to 15 to 20 minutes ahead of the actual TV coverage.
Hated it.
So did I.
That's when Berman used to pretend like he was so smart. Like they're giving Berman the information. Hey, Tom, I'd like to maybe this guy here at 16, keep an eye on it. Well, they're telling him in his ear.
Sure. But then the league came down and said no more.
Yeah, right.
And I think reporters have said, we're not going to do that anymore.
Yeah. No, I hate it. Yeah, I hate it.
I can't stand that.
Yeah, it was the day before the draft, and Schefter had the first 3 picks in, whatever it was. So, but Shane's, go ahead.
I was going to say, do you prefer the current format that we've had now for a long time on Thursday nights, or would you like to go back to what we used to have it like as kids?
No, I hated it. Waiting around Saturday took forever. Now this is good to have it Thursday.
I'm the opposite.
Right now, really,
I loved it on Saturdays.
I like the Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Although it appeared, I mean, you were looking at the location. Here's a little interesting. It was supposed to snow tomorrow, but things have changed a little bit. But imagine you got that it's the draft.
Well,
hey, come on to Green Bay, and it snows.
That's one thing that the NFL now, once they took it out of New York City and they said we're going to make it on a rotation basis, they are not afraid to put this in cold weather cities. I mean, Cleveland, Chicago,
Philly.
Green Bay, Philly.
Right.
A ton of them so far, and that's going to keep happening, I would think, right? All right, Will Brinson joins the program now, CBS Sports, also the Pushing the Pile podcast to talk NFL draft. He is on the Progressive guest line. Will, thanks for the time. Where do you think the draft begins as of right now? Is it 5? Is it 6? What number would you say?
All right, so I got a hot take, guys, and I mean, the odds, I don't know how much we think about the odds being reflective of what's being bet versus what we think might actually happen. But the odds have shifted in my favor on this one a little bit. I think there's a decent chance that the Giants at 3 pull the trigger on Jackson Dart. And that's not a popular take at all. I know Carter's still a huge favorite. Abdul Carter is to go 3, but I would say this. We've seen reports that Jackson Dart's not going to make it past the Saints at 9. The Giants are in a position with Joe Shane and Brian Dable where they have to win this year, or they have to lose and show that they can develop a rookie quarterback. And if they don't like Shedeur Sanders, or if they don't want to risk missing out on Dart or Sanders there at the top of the second round, you kind of have to pull the trigger at 3. Now, I know that's expensive. I like Dart a lot. I think Brian Dable likes him a lot too. So my hot take is Jackson Dart, 3rd overall. To the Giants. I got a bunch of 50-1 on it, and I think it's down to like 17-1 now.
Yeah, that 13 now as well. So you'll be dancing if that happens.
That's a big shift draft day.
Yeah.
You go 50-1 to 13-1.
Well, minus 220 to be the second quarterback selected too. Do you think the Titans will regret taking Ward?
No, I mean, I like Cam Ward. I don't, I wouldn't want to take. I would just take Travis Hunter first overall.
Yeah.
If I'm the Titans. So yeah, like I think there's a chance they regret it in the sense of, you might not be good again next year, even with Cam Ward in there. And you could be in a situation like the Panthers were, right, where they trade up for Bryce Young. That doesn't go well. And then all of a sudden, Caleb Williams is there. I know Bryce has been good and Caleb was okay, but you could have had Jaden Daniels or CJ Stroud, whatever you want to do. I think sometimes these teams get in a position where they're like, well, like they talk themselves into falling in love with a player when the best player available, like a generational talent like Travis Hunter, who could be an all-pro cornerback and wide receiver, is available. I'm taking Hunter at 1, figuring out a plan for him, and then coming back next year and getting a quarterback. So, yeah, I guess in that sense, they could regret it.
Okay, so if the Giants do what you said with Dart, take him 3rd overall. Currently speaking, as Pauly said, that number's down to 13-1. You have 50-1 in pocket. What does that mean for number 4? What does that mean for number 5, and so on and so forth?
I think the Patriots have to take a long, hard look at Abdul Carter, right? He's got injury issues and maybe some off-field stuff. That, I don't you hear whispered about with a lot of these guys. So, but I mean, when you talk about the talent, like if you take positional value out of it and the red flags out of it, there's really only like 3 blue chip guys in this draft. It's Hunter, Abdul Carter, and then Ashton Genty. I would think that Mike Vrabel, despite, we've seen it consistently with Tennessee, I think they've taken an offensive lineman every year that he was there in the first 3 rounds. He likes to build the trenches. He wants to run the ball. I think they would probably lean towards Abdul Carter at 4 instead of taking this, one of these offensive linemen that, in this class, it's kind of like what you're stuck with a la 2013 when the Chiefs had to take Eric Fisher up top and the Jags were stuck with Luke Joeckel.
Okay, so then at 5, if the Jags keep the pick, is it Genty or do you think they're going to trade out of it?
The 2 things that you hear about the Jaguars, one, that they are trying to trade up to 2 to get Travis Hunter. They really want Travis Hunter. Whether or not the Browns are willing to do it, we'll see. I know there's more buzz about that. But then the other one is that the Bears and the Jaguars might have a swap in place, or the parameters of a swap in place for the Bears to come up and get Genty at 5, seeing him as like sort of the Jahmyr Gibbs type in that Ben Johnson offense, right? Can catch the ball, runs incredibly well, and then protects pretty well too in the backfield. So I mean, I know that everybody's pounding the table for the Jags taking Genty at 5, and I get it, and he is one of the best players in the draft. But man, a running back at 5 when you got a lot of other things you need on a team, with a quarterback who's been banged up a lot is questionable to me. But he's a great player.
Yeah, 30 seconds here, Will, in this segment. So the Jets at 7, what do you think the play is there?
The tight end makes a ton of sense, right? Whether it's Warren or whether you go another direction. I think that works. I also think Aaron Glenn, first-year head coach, defensive guy, going to want to put his stamp on it. I tend to think that they end up going defense there, but I certainly wouldn't fault them for getting another weapon because they're pretty shallow behind Garrett Wilson. Very
good. You can follow Will on X. He's at Will Brinson, covers the NFL for CBS Sports, pushing the Pilot podcast as well. Thanks, Will. Enjoy the draft tonight.
Always a pleasure, guys.
Yes, very good. And good luck with that dart ticket, 50-1.
Yeah.
Well, that'll shake things up, right?
Oh, my God.
There's your bombshell.
There's no need to do that.
There's no, absolutely
just trade
none.
back. Trade
There's,
back. Or take Carter, trade up.
My reaction, I will be stunned if they do that.
That's asinine.
But I'm not.
And then you also sign Winston and Wilson.
Yes.
Did you see him at the Knicks game with the sunglasses on?
Of course.
Oh, my God.
Yep. Up next, win-lose. You can watch VSiN on YouTube TV for those who don't know. What a game-changing announcement they made yesterday.
Last night? Wow, winning. Or was it a rough one?
Well, they can't all be winners, can they?
Loser! You're a loser! Pauly Howard recaps the night in sports betting in Win Some, Lose Some.
Brunson before the season, 14-1 to win the Clutch Player of the Year award. I thought Joker should have won, but they give it to Brunson, and he got the big game tonight. Most threes, good call. Green plus 350. He was awesome in the win against the Warriors. Curry most assists, plus 360. Stars shot Colorado, plus 180. Kings, 42-2 when scoring at least 3 goals. 21 of the last 24. They haven't allowed a first period goal. And the over 5.5 bet up to 6. Kings get it themselves. What is going on with Edmonton? They have handed them 6 goals in 2 games so far. whether it's just cross-check someone in the face in front of the ref. Oh, 5-on-3 power play. Kings had the 27th ranked power play in the regular season. They started 4 of 8 on a power play in the series. And then it's a 3-2 game, and the guys for Edmonton's going to pass the puck to it, and he whiffs on it. It's like, here you go. They hand another goal to the Kings. They're playing pee-wee hockey. I can't believe the mistakes they're making. And maybe you make a goaltending change, too. That is ugly. 6-2 Kings. Arsenal Crystal Palace draw, plus 390. Subscribe, be part of the team, vsin.com. Our radio and podcast friends, you always want to see these tweets and videos. At Pauly Does Vegas on Instagram. Send it in. We'll put you on. This is excellent. The human built this where you have the fence and then the dog is shy around new people. So he's got the bucket of balls and a sign. Okay, you throw it over the fence. He likes to play, and this he'll warm up to you. He's got the bucket on the outside. Grab the ball. Throw it on the inside over the fence. You have the sign. I promise I'm not mean. That's great. Got the whole thing there. A+. That's awesome. There you go. And just bring the ball back and get the whole bucket. All thought out. I love the sign. I promise I'm not mean. And you got the little fella there holding the ball. That's excellent. Dynamite. This is called higher ground always wins. You got the dad up top on the couch. All these French bulldogs, and they're trying to get up to hang. He's like, leave me alone. I want to take a nap. Look at all 4 of them trying to get up here. He's like, please, that's enough. Leave. Oh, 5 of them trying to jump up. He's like, I want to take a nap. Leave me alone. You guys don't have to come up here. And they can't get the portly fella.
It used to happen when my dad was in town. He was like the dog whisperer. And we had 3 at the time. They would all, like this kind of couch, similar. He would lay back in it, recline. All 3 of them would find a spot on him somehow. On his stomach, in between his legs, on his chest. They would all have to share him at the same exact time.
I can't believe they can't get up there.
I know. Well,
look at the little guy.
The little guy on the left, I mean, he has no chance. But
the guy in the right came in too a couple times, not even close with his jump. Avalanche 170 up to 210. Thought that was a ridiculous penalty on McKinnon. In any event, they led 1-0 late, blew it, lost in overtime. They had a 4-minute power play in overtime. Couldn't score. Stars off the mat. Cavs under. Didn't agree with it. Winner. It was ridiculous. 215.5 to 212. Easy over. Every game has gone over this year between these two teams. It's 5-0, and they put up a 213 for Game 3.
Yep.
What are they watching? Everyone can score.
They have absolutely no answer for Tyler Hero.
Oh, it's ridiculous. Well, how they're defending them is asinine. Celtics Magic under 201.5 down to 196, 109 to 100. One lose some. It's a win some for some people. Let's go out to Lambeau. Around Lambeau at Green Bay. Hey, you coming to the draft? You want a park? Come on in. You got the signs? How about as high as $180? Creative signs. Yeah, go ahead, no problem. Some guys going as low as $60. One guy says $80 to park in my driveway. Most people $100, $150. There's a $180. Come on in. Park for the draft. Here you go.
What would you pay?
I'd go to the guy who's got $80 right there. Like easy in, easy out. Look at that.
What if $80 is 6 blocks?
Yeah, that's a good point because the guy, right there, the guy says it's 2 blocks to the stadium.
Are you willing to walk 6 blocks nowadays?
Yeah, I'll have to. For to save $80, I'll do it. Shoes on. Oh, that's excellent. Couple bad beats. Warriors Rockets first half under. It exploded. 22 points in the last 2 minutes. And how about the finish in Washington? Montreal plus the goal and a half. Again, it happened. 0.7 seconds left. Washington with the empty net goal to cover the puck line. They win 3-1. He's been with us since day one. Remember Mr. Poison and all the great numbers that he had? Sharp plays. Check it out where real bettors go to get ahead. Chasing steam, copying picks, recycling the same old value plays. They're not sharp, they're just parrots. The sharp plays is the source they're echoing since 2011. Locked in with what the real pros are betting. Elite group, sharp money, the kind that move the market. When he jumps on a side, the line reacts. Insider info, powerful AI tools. Get ahead and sign up for free. Betting reports, real-time alerts, next level intel via email or on X. Check the receipts, full betting logs live on the site. Don't follow the crowd, lead it. Sharpplays.com. Respected, watched, and feared. That's the Sharp Place.
A couple of things I want to throw at you here. So immediately after the injury last night and the game was over with the Jimmy Butler, found out that an MRI was expected for today.
He told Green he'd be okay.
Yeah. The Warriors have dealt with a couple of these pelvic contusions in the past. This is a tweet from Anthony Slater, who covers the team falls from Curry and Kuminga. Curry missed 2 games. Kuminga missed 1. And then it becomes a pain management issue. It looked pretty wicked.
It was. Yep. And certainly that was a ball game when he went out.
No doubt. Totally changed the entire landscape.
Yeah.
And if he's not there for game 3, do they win the game? They're a small favorite now at home.
I know.
He absolutely means something to the point spread.
No kidding. And now your boy Kuminga then would get more minutes. And that, as Kerr said after the game, it changes everything from who we're going to play, lineups, rotations, all of it.
That's right.
And then you also saw that lift and more confidence that Green and the Rockets got as well. So 3.5, we'll see. I don't know. I got to see what the MRI says, but they did tell Green, he says he'll be all right.
Okay, and this is something else too. For those of you who don't know, plenty of ways to take in this show and every show here on VSiN throughout the day. We are on YouTube TV, on Sirius XM channel 158. You can get the VSiN Watch app, other places as well. And on YouTube TV, this was announced yesterday. What a tweet here from Joe Pampliano. YouTube TV announced that they will soon allow customers to build their multi-view options, including both sports and non-sports content. So rather than just choosing from predetermined options, you'll be able to create your own customized version. Do you know how amazing that is? That they're finally going to offer this? And the technology or whatever it is, the option is going to be there now. I absolutely love this idea. It's a complete home run. So
And I love the multi-view anyways.
Oh, it's incredible.
What's going on now? You got 7 hockey games and NBA playoff games every night.
And so for those of you who aren't aware of this, right, and so I have like the NBA package, and you can create the multi-view like on a big night in the NBA action. You could have like 8 different options there where you have 4 TVs up at once. Now they're just creating it for you with the NBA and the NHL at the same time. But this also means if you want to listen to us while you're watching games at the same time on your same TV, you could put VSiN in one of the corners on the TV and then have 3 other games going on at the same exact time. And then if you have a multi-TV setup, you could just put 4 other games on the middle TV, let's say. This idea is phenomenal out of them. So, and I've been, when we cut the cord, I think it was now, I want to say it was 2014 or 2015, around that time when we switched over to YouTube TV almost full time.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
I love it. I got a dart update. Down to 21.5 at FanDuel. He's $1.35 to go to the Giants. 16-1 to go top 5. Oh.
And he's 13-1 to go to the Giants at to be the 3rd pick overall?
Yes. Sanders is $1.70 to go to Pittsburgh.
I have a little bit of him at 5-1 in pocket. I did that last week when Humans and Tim Murray were talking about it on their show, and I was watching them on YouTube TV. But if he slides past 21, that's a dead bet. Like he has to go, in order to cash that ticket, I firmly believe that the Pittsburgh Steelers have to take him at 21 because they're not going to, I don't think they take somebody else and then they get cute and trade back in to either the late part of the first round or early second round. And then I think a team like the Browns will be live to get him. And I have nothing on the Browns to take him. I don't know. So you think, and what are you seeing anything now for quarterbacks? 2.5? Is it still minus $2?
Yeah, last check, yeah.
I don't know how many teams are going to be willing to move up and get him in the late first round if Pittsburgh doesn't take him. Don't know. And that was minus 470 not that long ago. Over 2.5 quarterbacks.
DraftKings still has him 24.5. Dart. Under minus 250, though. Oh, wow. FanDuel moved it to 21.5.
Well, here on draft day, I mean, this information is usually what you want to hear, right? And now all this coming out, and people have been talking about a potential bombshell going off anyway. Maybe that's Jacksonville trying to trade up to number 2 to get Travis Hunter, or maybe this is Jackson Dart blowing away a team like the Giants and going way higher than we originally anticipated.
Yep. And now, $2 to go second. Second quarterback selected.
Okay.
Dart, yeah.
All right, more on the draft coming up. Jay Glazer had an incredible tweet about the current landscape of players entering the NFL draft. It adds an entirely new dimension to handicapping this event. We'll tell you what he said coming up on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.